When a police officer pulled a van over for what he thought would be a routine traffic stop, he never imagined what he'd encounter instead. One look in the backseat had him breaking out his handcuffs and calling for backup. It was one of the worst things he'd ever seen, one officer said, unable to hold back his tears. Specialist Shane Grady, Specialist Jerry Stem, Trooper Enrique Lawrence, and Corporal Kevin Kessler weren't quite prepared for the horrors they'd face when assisting Sergeant Justin Klitsch after he pulled over a van for a traffic violation on I-90 in Shoshone County, Idaho. The driver, George Gonzalez Virgil, 59, was in the car with 32-year-old woman and 2 children, ages 2 and 1. And it didn't take officers long to realize something was terribly wrong. Immediately, Idaho State Police noticed a female passenger with signs of abuse on her face. Her bruises would be the least of their worries, however. In fact, things would go from bad to worse when Sergeant Klitsch glanced in the back of the Dodge minivan, where he was met with a sight he and his colleagues would never forget. While we were there, Sergeant Klitsch discovered a young boy in the back of the minivan, Officer Shane Grady recalled. He had bruises on his head, multiple lacerations on his stomach, his arms were stuck in the fetal position, and his left eye was not functioning properly. Officer Grady, who accompanied the children to the hospital, broke down repeatedly as he recalled the ordeal in an interview. Still shaken by what he had witnessed, Officer Grady was unable to hold back his tears. It was one of the worst cases of abuse he'd ever seen, although he said he had seen some horrific traffic collisions and other awful sights during his police career. This incident would clearly stick with him forever. "I've never seen anything quite as traumatic as this to a small child, an innocent child," Sergeant Klitsch said, according to KREM. "But what really made me know things were serious was when the paramedic had a look on his face of panic," he recalled. "Based on what I saw and how severely beaten this child had been, I had never seen anything like that in my entire life." The child, identified only as Baby J, was close to death when officers found him. And according to Officer Shane Grady, the toddler constantly cried in pain. Thanks to their efforts, however, the case had a positive outcome. Reports indicate Baby J is expected to make a full recovery. Sergeant Klitsch just left Sacred Heart Hospital and said Baby J is alert, engaged, and playful. "We are also thankful for the hard work and care of the Sacred Heart Pediatric ICU team. Still work to do, but good news nonetheless," the Idaho State Police wrote on Twitter. Within days, Baby J was well enough to be discharged from the hospital, crediting Sergeant Klitsch with saving the badly beaten boy's life. Doctors said that if it wasn't for that traffic stop, the child might not have survived. Thanks to the officer, however, the toddler was given a fighting chance, and the 2 children are now in a safe place. We often don't think about the effect that these life-saving incidents have on the men and women who have to deal with them every day. While we know that the doctors, nurses, and medics witness horrific injuries daily, we forget that it's law enforcement officers who first come across and are faced with the most tragic of incidents that most of us can't even imagine. Seeing Officer Grady's interview brings this reality to light, and hopefully, it will continue to be shared as a tribute to all those first responders who give so much and work so hard to help keep us all safe. Did you like this story? Check out our channel for more.